it has been repetitive. And is it relevant for UPSC? Yes, that is why I have opted for this one and I have the proof. Hello everyone, myself Priyanka Godara. I am here again with the topic of current affairs. And this time I have opted a topic which is somewhere controversial, somewhere you may be having your opinion. So bear with me if you do have opposite opinion. And this is a kind of disclaimer that if you are going to be one of the UPSC aspirant, then you have to be tolerant towards the views. And that is why I have opted the topic that marriage as a remedy for rape. Why I have written such a thing? Marriage as a remedy for rape. Is it, what are your views? What clicks into your mind when I do say this thing? Can we sort out the rape? Can the rape would be overpowered by the marriage if somebody would be raped by one of the accused? And then if the victim is married to that accused, then is it kind of justice? What are your views? Think upon this. I would be explaining why I have opted this one. Yes, right thing. That recently into Allahabad High Court, into one of its judgment, see, there was an article and that I have taken this one from this one. But why I am talking about this one? In case Atul Gautam versus State of Uttar Pradesh, Allahabad High Court granted bail to one of the accused by saying that the condition of bail is that you have to marry with the rape victim. Yes, that was the justice that was delivered by the Allahabad High Court. I was shocked and I think that as shocked you would be, but you may differ into your opinion. All the opinions are respected. I would be discussing this one. But this is not the first time that into this case, Allahabad High Court has provided such a justice or such a condition for the bail. Into earlier cases also, there was a case of Abhishek versus State of Uttar Pradesh into 2024. The court granted bail to a rape accused on the condition that he should marry the survivor and provide for both the survivor and her child, her newborn child. If he would be taking care of the rape survivor and her child, then they would be granted bail. So that was another case. And before that also, into 2022, the State of Uttar Pradesh, Rameswar versus State of Uttar Pradesh, again Allahabad High Court granted bail on the similar conditions. So this is the repetitive. It is not the first time that we have seen such kind of decision, such kind of justice, such kind of conditions that has been said for bailing a person. No, it has been repetitive. And is it relevant for UPSC? Yes, that is why I have opted for this one and I have the proof. See, into 2019 itself, UPSC has asked the question, which article of the Constitution of India safeguards one's right to marry the person of choice? Marry the person. See the thing. Marry the person of choice. And that means there is one article. And what is in the last scenario? There was no choice with the rape victim. No, rape survivor. They don't have the choice. The court has put this condition that if they want the bail, then they have to marry the survivor. Where is the right to select the person of the survivor? So that is the question. And such kind of decisions, they remain into news and UPSC asked question about them. So let's see what if there is some concern regarding to this judgment, then what is it? So first of all, here like constitutional thing is there and answer for this one is that right to life under Article 21. So under Article 21, Constitution of India grants the right to select a person of their choice. And here, that is why, what are the concerns? So first thing is there is constitutional concern. Second is there legal concern as well. How? Constitutional concern. Article 21, right to dignity, autonomy and protection from coercion. That is one of the fundamental right that has been provided by Indian Constitution to its citizen. So that has been violated. Another thing, there should be equal protection before law, and this is also violated from the perspective of the rape survivor. Next one, conflict with criminal jurisprudence as well. How? The bail conditions that here has been stated that the accused has to marry with the rape survivor, where it is written. No, there is no such bail conditions has been written into our code of procedure, criminal code of procedure. We should obey the law, no? So, the bail condition must not be arbitrary. This is written into Criminal Procedure Code CRPC of 1973 under section 437 3C, that bail condition must not be arbitrary or outside the code of CRPC, and this condition has not been written out there. So how this Supreme Court or High Court, any judicial power can go beyond that? It is against the legal provisions as well. Next is courts must not impose conditions that interfere with the trial. I will explain that how this condition would interfere with the trial itself. See, let's simplify this one, that how there would be interference. So if the person who wants the bail, he marries with the rape survivor, then what would happen? In a marriage, we do have the personal relationships, and that is why there would be emotional connect. And after having this connection, there are chances that this accused would be using his authority, using his connection, or emotionally blackmailing the survivor out there, who would be the wife, and that is why there would not be free and fair trial. See, this is bail. It is not that you are freeing the victim. You are not freeing the accused, and that is why there would be procedure after the bail period is out. But can you imagine, or do you think that there would be free and fair trial? No, that would be compromised, and hence this condition of grant of bail is also violated. Then Supreme Court guidelines into Arpana Bhatt versus State of MP into 2021 is also there. The bail condition must not force contact between the accused and survivor. The contact between accused and survivor should be avoided. That is one of the conditions that we should follow. And here you are providing for the marriage, that you should marry with the person. So that is against the Supreme Court guidelines as well. Another thing, bail conditions should not reinforce patriarchal norms. Yes, that is very important. We are into one of a progressive society. India being a progressive society, what we are doing, the Allahabad High Court has provided marriage as a solution for a rape. How you can do that? And that is nothing but re-establishment of patriarchal norms, and Supreme Court guidelines clearly says that you should not promote these patriarchal norms. So this is complete violation of your constitutional provision, legal provision, as well as judicial guidelines. Then from the perspective of rape survivor, if you have to see, then what are the concerns regarding welfare of survivor? So first thing, marriage as a remedy for rape is totally a regressive notion. This is regressive notion. You cannot say that you have to marry. This would be increasing what? The so-called man, maryada, prampra, pratishtha of a woman that would be associated with the women of a family. No, it is just a crime. Treat the rape as a crime, nothing else. Ye man, maryada, prampra, pratishtha, we have to do away with that, right? So it frames rape as loss of purity or honor rather than a violation of bodily autonomy. Rape is just one thing, that violation of body autonomy. You are not being taken the consent, and then the physical relation has been established. This is that simple, and keep it that simple. But what we are doing, we are putting a regressive notion here. Then it creates coercive marital relationship disregarding survivor consent. The person who has raped once a rape survivor, do you think that this person is going to respect the women into their marriage relation? No. Marriage is such a pure institution into India, and what you are doing this, you are converting this as a punishment. Marriage should not be out of punishment. It should be out of emotional bond. So, bail condition, marrying a rape survivor is like that you are punishing that person. No, that is, marriage should not be a punishment. So that is another issue. Then psychological and legal consequences that we have discussed earlier. Psychological, that if marriage would be on the forcible conditions, then there would be psychological impact over the rape survivor again. And legal consequences, obviously, that we have discussed earlier, that there would be difficulty into conducting free and fair trial of the justice. Then neglect of state responsibility. See, what are you doing? That you are saying that you have to marry the rape victim. Is it the responsibility of the person who is accused? No. Taking care of the victim is the responsibility of state. And here you are shifting the responsibility from the state to the judiciary. First of all, that they have to ensure the justice. Second thing, you are shifting the responsibility to the accused itself, and that should not be done. So do not neglect the state's responsibility here. Next is legal and ethical implications. What are there? That it perversely incentivizes for accused. How? Ethically, what would happen? That it may encourage the person to get rape somebody. That there are a lot of chances where the consent is not there, or the male person, they would be approaching somebody, but they deny, and that would encourage the people that if you would be raping them, then courts would allow to get married. What is that? So you should not per se incentivize the accused for this one. It is rather than a punishment, it turns out a incentive for the people, for the person who is accused out there. We should avoid that. Then judicial overreach into bail conditions. Judicial conditions, bail conditions are there that has been written into CRPC, and then there are Supreme Court guidelines. Any judicial authority that they are giving bail, then they should see these documents. They should refer to the early judgments of Supreme Court and their guidelines, because Supreme Court works as a court of record, na? So there are judgments do have the law implication throughout the other judicial authorities, and they should be followed. So it is again overreach of judicial and bail conditions. Courts should not impose socially conditioned solution that violates survivor rights, and bail decisions should be based on legal merit rather than personal settlement mechanism. These personal settlement mechanisms should not be granted by the judiciary. It may be out of the court, but not inside the court. And then what are the way forward? What we should do? Why we are seeing such kind of solutions? So, such kind of judgment, sorry. So, what are the way forward? First thing, strict adherence to Supreme Court directives. Supreme Court into Aparna case has clearly mentioned the bail grounds should not be arbitrary. The bail grounds should avoid the connection between accused and the survivor, and we should follow that. So there should be strict adherence to Supreme Court directives. Then there is another thing, there should be stronger legal provision for survivor protection. The justice that has been done into this, you can say, particular case, that is causing a kind of risk to the survivor again, and the justice should not be such in such scenario. So there should be stronger legal provisions for these survivors, and here you can take help of fast track trials to prevent prolonged legal dependency on the accused. Then there should be comprehensive rehabilitation policies that I have told you again, that the responsibility of the victim is not of the accused. It is the responsibility of state, and that is why there should be comprehensive rehabilitation facility policies that would be providing kind of financial aid, mental aid, then you can say another physical and social security kind of thing. So you can provide financial support, mental health services, and social reintegration measures as well. Then judicial training and awareness should be there. The judiciary, the justice that who are providing such judgments, so they should be trained. See, and we should not question the judge out there, because anyhow they are the part of the society and they would be influenced by the societal norms, but they should be properly trained that the judgment they are putting forward into the public domain, that is making an impact over the entire country, over the all citizens of the society, and it is their responsibility to set some of the trends which should be progressive rather than regressive. And this would be done by proper training of the judicial staff. So there should be, judges must be sensitized to the gender justice and constitutional morality. Another thing, justice should prioritize survivor rights. It should prioritize the survivor rights. It should not be convenience based. That when, whatever and whenever would be convenient, you would be giving the justice according to that. No, that should be avoided. It should be focusing over the survivor rights. So this was all about. If you do have your opinion here, then you can write into comment box, and all the opinions are welcome. So see you in the next videos. Till then, take care. All the best. Thank you.